I think this is the very first time that I've actually not known what bike it is I'm going to test on Adventure Bike TV. And I'm really quite excited about it because we've come to this fabulous location. There's lots of trails, lots of trees, really forested. And I'm kind of thinking, oh, yeah, maybe Tom's pulled out the stops here and done something really clever with an off-road bike. Maybe like Chris Cork's Dakar bike, or I don't know, some super duper tricked up Africa Twin. Oh, that'd be very cool. Maybe even I don't know, any kind of trail or enduro bike. It'd just be fabulous around here. And I was a little bit excited about it last night. I was kind of, not that I ever have problems sleeping, but I was properly excited. So I guess the big reveal now. So please take away the car and show me the bike. Seriously? I know, any bike's an adventure bike. I know the C90 is a bike we were going to have to do on a test at some point. But why put me in all this adventure gear and everything? G-Reg, nice. My mountain bike's got bigger tyres than that. I'm too big for this bike, too big for it. I've got to be looking utterly ridiculous on this. I know, it goes around the world. You know, Ed March is doing his 30 million kilometres in 20 years, ride and everything else. I know. Thanks, Tom. Thanks a bunch. So, what can you say about the Honda C90? It reminds me of the bikes my gran used to ride, hence the granny step-through name of course. But in all seriousness, is there any motorcycling enthusiast who does not know that in its various engine sizes from 49 to 109cc and in continuous manufacture since 1958, it is the world's best-selling motorbike? In fact, it is the world's best-selling motor vehicle, bar none. If you don't know, you've probably had your head buried well and truly in the sand. But how many have Honda actually made? Not 10 million, not 25 million, not even 50 million. They have made 87 million by 2014. If you strung them all out end to end, you'd reach almost halfway to the moon, or nearly 4 times around the world if you're not of the space-faring inclination. This is not a bike built for speed. You'll be lucky to get over 40 on it. You won't slow down too quickly either. It's got drum brakes front and rear, and that leading link front suspension can get a little bit dicey on slippery surfaces, but remember that this was built as a commuter bike and it should be ridden just like one, nice and easy. Then the full-size wheels and suspension will give you a really rather comfy ride. Now, whether you choose to ride one for tens or even thousands of adventure miles will be a matter of personal taste and probably wallet capacity. There is no doubting it will get you from A to however far B is on the meagerest of budgets. How much might you have to pay for one? Well, I just took a look on eBay and I didn't see anything for under 850 quid. So, there's your answer. As you can see, I've changed out of my adventure gear into something that will make me look slightly less ridiculous on this bike, but no matter what I do, I'm always going to look ridiculous on this bike. But I guess the point is we've got to test out whether this bike really can do, apart from speed of course, all the things that the adventure bikes can do, and for that Tom the producer has set me a series of challenges, and that starts with starting it, because of course it's a kickstart, not electric. And he was sniggering when he told me about starting this bike. I've no idea why. No problem at all. I think I should call this challenge the Grassy Slope Challenge. And it may not look particularly difficult because the hill isn't huge, but it is really, really wet, slippery, mucky grass. And you can't get a straight run up at it because it's got a kink at the bottom. So even on a big adventure bike, I think with knobbly tyres, it would still be a bit of a challenge. But I need to see how the C90 is. I'm going to try and get as much of a run up as I can. Well, there's not much space for it. Hey. There we go. And off. Of course, the ease with which the motorcycle floated up that slippery grassy slope was nothing to do, of course, with its light off-road abilities. It's to do with my superb off-road riding skills. Next challenge is somewhat steeper, a lot muddier, still fairly short, but I haven't been up there yet, but I have been warned that the bigger challenge in this is actually stopping at the top. So here we go. Or not, as the case may be. Hey! Hey! I can see what Tom was saying. This is, yeah. I wouldn't want to try going down that on a mountain bike, never mind a big adventure bike. Which is kind of the point here. So, if I was on a big adventure bike, can't go forwards, back, you could kind of roll back I suppose, but on the C90, so much easier. Turn it round and off you go. This challenge is the tight trail challenge. So I've got to turn the bike around in its own length space, as if I was on a tight trail and don't want to do a sort of 35-point manoeuvre. Now, easy enough to do if you're on an enduro bike, and if you're Simon Pavey, you can do it on a big adventure bike. But Tom says I'm not allowed to pull wheelies on it like I was doing a minute ago, so I've got to try and do it properly. So here we go. I win!
Not really, you're not facing the other way.
Right, you can't actually see me now, but the next challenge given to me by Tom the producer is a water challenge. It's a fairly long bit of water, probably not too deep, but I am wondering how well this bike will cope with it because the engine and the carb and everything are right down at the bottom and at the front. First thing I noticed by going through that water puddle is I am almost completely dry. If I'd done that on a venture bike, I'll be soaked below the knee. Strictly speaking, this isn't one of Tom's challenges or tests that he set me, but this bike is so light and so small, it's very easy to do this. Hey! Just like that. Right, well, the next challenge on the list is a soft sand challenge. So obviously representing when I take this kind of bike through the Sahara or Mojave or some other kind of similar deserts. So off we go. This was working a minute ago. Tom, there's a problem! It is on, choke's on. I'm doing exactly what I was doing before. That's not even sparking.
You've broken it.
I haven't done anything to it. You made me go through the water, that's what it was.
No, it's the fact that you've been pissing around playing on the roads for about an hour while we got the camera gear ready. Probably out of petrol, is it?
No.
Okay, so let's get it sorted then, shall we?
Well, back to square one.
Graham, why did you break the bike, Graham?
That's harsh, unfair and untrue. I didn't break it. It just stopped working after we were doing the water challenge. So I think it makes an important thing about these bikes is they're old and they are supposedly easy to fix. But when you're on time constraints as we are now, it's a bit of a problem. Unfortunately, we have had to admit defeat with this bike this afternoon. We've spent a couple of hours scrabbling around in the dirt trying to get it fixed, and whatever we do, we just can't get it sorted out in the time. And it's a real shame because this morning I was riding it quite a bit, getting used to it before we started filming, and we didn't capture any of it on camera, but there you go, it's just one of those things. But I have done enough riding to draw a conclusion, and there is no doubt that this is a bike that you could do a round the world trip on. There's enough footage and stories and books from people who've done it, so I can't dispute that. And actually this morning I had a real hoot on it, whether it was doing donuts in the middle of the car park, whether it was riding up the hills, through the puddles, and to a degree riding on the roads. I really did have a hoot. However, it doesn't give me the kind of buzz I want if I'm riding a bike, and if I was going to be riding a bike for a week's trip, a month's trip, a year's trip, this wouldn't give me the buzz I need. So it would not be the bike for me on a round the world adventure. Now, Tom has just said to me that I didn't answer the question, would I have one of these in my garage? And it's a slightly difficult question because, you know, there's a lot of love for these bikes. There's a huge pedigree. It's the best-selling bike in the world. And undoubtedly, you can do an adventure on it. However, would I have this particular bike in my garage? This bike that has broken down on us 3 or 4 times today, that no matter what we do, we can't get it working? This particular bike? No, it's a pile of crap.